It's that fun part of the show where we get to reveal you guys' top 5. And we'll start off with Steve this time. Steve, who do you got in your top 5?
All right, listen
Top
close.
5.
Listen close. This is the one that counts for real. In my top 5, I have checking in at number 6, the astronaut War Eagles.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're knocking on the door of the top 5. Randy Halleck's War Eagles are playing good football. Their win against Rockledge last week. If the teams in my top 5 currently hadn't played so well, astronaut would be in, but they're getting awful close. Number 5, the Merritt Island Mustangs. You look at their stats. They don't do anything but win. And that's what Jeff McLean's Mustangs do every single year. They haven't lost a district game in 4 or 5 years. I don't know if that's going to hold true this year because at some point in the season they're going to have to play Palm Bay. But I like the Mustangs at number 5. Number 4, the Palm Bay Pirates. And when those two teams match, it's going to be fun to watch. Pirates are doing it all this year. They're running the football. Brown's throwing the football. They're playing great defense. They scored over 40 points the last 4 games. They could easily be inside, ranked higher than I have them, but I've got them at number 4. Number 3, the Vieira Hawks. We'll find out if I have Vieira and Palm Bay right this weekend when those two teams meet, but it's all in the arm of Kingston. The Hawks don't run the football. DePlank runs it a little bit. One thing that people don't realize is they play good defense. Don't let the 49 points that they allowed to Cocoa fool you. Vieira has a very good defense. So I have them at number 3. Number 2, the Heritage Panthers. We've seen them enough over the last few years to know they can play with anybody in the county. I would love to see Heritage and Cocoa play. They're not on the schedule this year, but great offense, unsung defense. I like the Panthers at number 2. My top-ranked team in Brevard County, the Cocoa Tigers, took it on the chin last week to St. Edwards, but that's what they do. They go not only in the state of Florida to find the toughest competition, but in the country, and that's what they've done. Cocoa Tigers, in my opinion, are still the best team in the county.
Orville?
Well, here we go again, Zach. We're supposed to have a top 5, and the first word out of his mouth is my number 16. I don't know why you keep allowing him to do that. I went at 3A, 3B last week, and you guys made me walk back to the shop. So, I just don't think that's fair. But
I'm the president of this company.
Well, and I'm transportation, and you made me walk.
Okay.
So he gets 6, and I don't know why you allow him to do that. This is a top 5 program. But I'm going to give you mine anyway, okay?
Yeah.
At number 7.
Oh, my God. Take 2.
No, right there, what's that say? My
Uh-huh.
number 7. And I'm doing this for a reason.
Yeah, no.
At number 7, a very small school, but they're playing great football, and that's Nate Hooks and the Holy Trinity. All they've done is keep on winning week after week. I like what they're doing there. I'm going to give them a little piece of the pie, and I'm going to put them at number 7. Number 6, Astronaut, War Eagles, and Randy Halleck. I like what they do. Early in the season, they lost 2 ball games by a total of 4 points. Randy Halleck told us when we were up there a couple weeks ago, we've got to learn to close the game out. They closed the game out last week, and they won by 1, and so you got to love that. Top 5. I'd rather do top 6 through 10. It would be more exciting because the top 5 teams are just continually playing people that they can just run over every week. 4 out of the 5 scored over 40 points this week. So you really don't change anything. But I've got Merritt Island at number 5. They beat Satellite 35-0. Palm Bay beat Titusville. They're at number 4. They beat them 45-10. Vieira beat Melbourne 49-3. Heritage beat Okeechobee 41-14, and then Cocoa, like Steve said, they went to Ohio yesterday, lost 24-14, but played a very, very good St. Edwards team, and so the top 5 really stays the same. Like Steve said, the big key right here is going to be our number 3 and 4 team. However, he had it. I forgot Vieira and Palm Bay this week. Those 2 could flip, but I don't see anybody else changing for a while.
That Vieira Palm Bay game, is there a chance maybe one of those teams can maybe slip up into that 2 spot after an impressive showing this past week, or are you guys pretty set in your 1 and 2s?
Well, you look at it, Heritage play Palm Bay, that would be another great football game, I think. Heritage just played Cocoa. No, they haven't played Cocoa. That was Vieira. But yes, Vieira played Cocoa and did very well. Right. So if they beat Palm Bay, you never know. But that would be a game, too, in Vieira and Heritage. There's a lot of games going on that will never happen that we would really like to see.
So undisputed 1 and 2 then.
I think so.
I think so, and the Panthers and the Pirates actually do play the last game of the regular season. District's competition will be over by then, but what a game that's going to be. I think I mentioned at the outset that Astronaut beat Rockledge last week. They actually beat Jones,
Yes.
which was their huge district win for Randy Howitt's squad. But I don't know if Vieira, Palm Bay, if one of them just dominates the other this week, you almost have to think about jumping them, but it's tough. I mean, how do you jump a team like the Heritage Panthers? They're hosting Melbourne. They're expected to beat Melbourne. If Melbourne were to, huge upset or play them to a 10-9
Yeah.
game, something like that, maybe so. But I don't really see that happening.
And you can't drop the Cocoa Tigers until they lose a game in the state of Florida. As far, what have they won now? 37 games against Brevard County teams. So, until John Wilkins and his Tigers fall to a Vieira, Heritage, Merritt Island, or a Rockledge or whoever, there's no way you can jump them. They'll be number one until the last football game that they play this year.
We're at about the halfway point of the season. Maybe your guys' quick take on your overall impression. We're halfway through. Maybe some team that maybe is a surprise here in the middle of the season.
Well, two teams I look at, and here again, going back to small school, I love what Nate Hooks and his players and team is doing down there at Holy Trinity. And the other, after talking to Randy Halley at Beef O'Brady's on our coaches show, Randy every year, he always keeps his cards. He's like an old-time poker player from the West. He's got his cowboy hat on and he's got his boots on, and he's not going to give you any information that you can take outside and tell anybody in the street about that's going to help you. But he has done some great things up there this year. He came in and said, well, we got a young team, we got an inexperienced team, we don't have a lot of depth, things like that, But the first couple games it showed. And then all of a sudden he's got on a roll here, and he's played some pretty decent teams. And he beat his crosstown rival, the Titusville Terriers, by 40-0. And I just think that those two are my surprises right there.
Those are the two I think that I would go with as well. The Holy Trinity and
let me fall off this stool.
But there's a couple of teams, and I'll throw out the Vieira Hawks because we know they went undefeated last year during the regular season. They were 9-0. Some people said they didn't play anybody all year long. They went to the playoffs, and Charlotte really took it to them. So there were some questions coming back into the season this year. How good are they going to be because of the level of competition they're playing? But I've been more impressed with their losses than their wins, what they did in Allen, Texas to score 3 or 4 touchdowns against them, to play the Cocoa Tigers to within 7 points. Vieira's probably a better football team this year than I thought they would be. How far they're going to go in the playoffs, there's some things that have to fall into place. Right. The level of competition when you go out of the area. But Vieira has been a pleasant surprise. And a couple of teams on the other side have struggled that I thought would be a little better. But, things happen. The ball bounces funny sometimes, as my buddy Orville always says. So you never know. But it's been an interesting first half of the season, and I'm convinced the second half of the season is going to be just as interesting and exciting.
Zach, I like Steve bringing up the Vieira Hawks. Very good point there on what he had to say. And another one I'd like to bring up, the Rockledge Raiders. Wayne Younger has taken over a team that went 2-8 last year, and out of the first 3 games, they had tied that winning record. They lost in overtime to Space Coast last week. I like what Wayne Younger's doing there. He's not going out and running around in the community and say we're going to go 10-0 this year. He knows he has a foundation that has to be laid, and everything goes up from that point. And I think they're doing it the right way. The community is bought in. The players have bought in, and we talked earlier in the season. We didn't expect them to go out and play 500 football this year. A lot of people did because you just change football coaches, and all of a sudden, miraculously, things happen. It doesn't happen that way very often. But I think Wayne Younger and the Rockledge staff and the players, they're building a program, and like he said, the 2 running backs they have, they are going to be something to see next year. That Rockledge will be really fun to watch next year.
Also keep an eye on Space Coast, too, and Jake Owens. That's a pretty good team up there as well. Well, the second half of the season, this is when everybody's going to start getting ready for playoff spots. Should be an exciting part of the second half season.